What's up, guys? Becca Me is here. We're at Smallville, Season 3, Episode 5, Perry. Okay, so this episode starts off with like a meteor shower, like with a meteor rock going into the sun and going into the sun. And yeah, so yeah. So then Clark is watching a news like video on Perry White. Yes, Perry White, who in the comics, I think he's the boss of Clark at Dead Planet, and in this version of Perry White, he's the guy who drinks and works for Exile. So yeah, so when he has his last drink, he's like, "Come on, give it to me more, give me another drink," but they're like, "No," and they kick him out. So yeah, so he's driving home when Clark starts to lose his speed and bumps into Perry, but so Perry's like, "Hey, hey Clark, hey Clark, hey Mr. Kent, I'm looking up. I'm trying to do a news report for the meteor showers. I need your son to like show for me around and all that stuff." So yeah, they go to the town and he's like, "Hey." He's like, "You're the girl in that photo, in the picture." And he's like, "Can you tell me about that day?" And he's like, "Come on." He's like, I don't want to talk about it. He's like, how can you hang around this guy, Clark? And he's like, you both need to leave. And so yeah, so he's like, so they go to Chloe, and Chloe's like, and Chloe first says no, but then she's like, wait a minute, you're Perry White. And he's like, Clark, I'll let you talk to your friend. And he's like, Clark, do you even know who you're hanging around with? And that's we get that. So then we get into Alexa's plot, which last episode had as a member. So yeah, so Lana goes to Alexa's mansion, and she's like, yeah, Perry White was around town. Perry White, and he's like, he wanted to do something on the mirror showers, but I didn't want to talk to him because I didn't want to ruin the day that my parents died. So I need to push that back for 14 years. So yeah. So so Clark continues to until Lex comes and he's like and yeah, yeah, and Lex is like, "Hey Clark, I need to talk to Perry." And he's like, "Come on, Lex." And he's like, your things with your things Lana, I thought you'd be different with this, Clark, or something. Yeah. So he's like, "Hey Perry, leave Clark alone and leave." And he just throws his thing. So yeah, so Clark's on the farm and he accidentally throws a tractor because it hits Perry White. And when Clark goes to see him, he's like, so he keeps trying to tell him, "Oh, I know what I saw. I know what I saw." And he's like, "Tell him, Clark." And he's like, "I don't know how this got here." And yeah, yeah. So what does Perry White do? He continues to have Clark chauffeur him around. And yeah, he's like, you can run, but you can't hide. So yeah, so he tries to go to Chloe. He's like, you're interested in Clark. And he's like, I want to know about Clark Kent. And he's like, I heard about the barn thing and the barn incident that happened. And he's like, those are just the police say those were just frat boys making a prank. So yeah, so yeah, so so yeah, so Perry tries to get Lana, and he's like, hey, he's like, he drinks himself. He takes a drink of liquor, and he tells Lana to drown. So he's like, hey Clark, Perry White told me to call you, and he's like, Perry White told me to. Told he said he was gonna jump off the bridge unless he told me to call you, And yeah, so he's like, so he falls off. And he's like, Perry White, don't do this. And he's like, yeah, this is just for Perry White. For Perry White wants to do this so he can prove Clark's power to Lana and Pete. So actually to Lana. So he can prove Clark's powers are real. So Clark, he jumps down, but because Clark later realized that because of the red sun that gives him his powers and the mirror that crashed into the red sun, he doesn't have power. So he has to rely on Lana and Pete to save him, and they do, and yeah, and at the end of the episode, Perry White's leaving, and he's like, "Hey Clark, I'm gonna sober up," and he's like, "If you're ever in Metropolis, call me." Yeah. Yeah. So basically, that's so Clark walks away with, and this episode is basically saying, "Hey Clark, become a journalist, because you'd be a good journalist." So yeah, so this was a good episode. Clark walked away happy. Perry White, Perry White walked away becoming sober and wanting to get back out there in Metropolis, and yeah. So yeah, I really liked this episode. But wait, there is one episode. There is an episode in this series, episode 7, that I'm very great to talk about because it introduces because it makes one character very annoying, and I'm going to just say that because I'm not gonna spoil it anymore. So like, comment, subscribe. You guys have a wonderful night, and I'll see you in the next video. After I publish this one, because I'm trying to get out to episode 8, which I'm currently watching. So yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful night. I'll see you next Smallville.